I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Oh boy, what we got?
You asked for more ways to create, so we made a major update. Sleeve printing is now live. You can now design directly on sleeves across.
I gotta look that up. Will Levis. I gotta look that up. That's something that just got my attention. Will Levis. Okay, I have to look that up. I ain't seen that. Okay. Let's get this thing going. We're gonna get this thing going. We're gonna get live. We're gonna be on here for a little minute. Gotta get this thing live, make you feel good. We're gonna make you feel good. Come on now, come on now, come on now. Let me cut this thing off real quick. I'll come back on this joint real quick. We're gonna get this thing on real quick. What's happening? How you doing? I'm trying to get everything up, so give me just a moment. I gotta get this question up. Get this thing going. Don't move. Don't move. I'm on live, so that's what I'm doing. Don't move because I'm gonna send out more notifications. So give me a one if you're gonna stick around. Don't leave. I'm just this gonna take about 3 minutes. Don't move. Give me a one. Stick around. Give me a one. If you can hear me, give me a one. I'm just moving stuff around. So give me a one. I'm coming right back. Are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. So for those who are out there, welcome aboard. I am back. I am live. It is Saturday morning, afternoon, or night. Maybe early Sunday. Depends on where you are in the world. So the question is pretty straightforward. Is the NBA and other forms of entertainment rigged or fixed? Do you think it's true or not? And if you want to comment on it, feel free to. Give me a reason why you think it is, why it isn't. I'll welcome it. Welcome everybody on board. What got me thinking about this is because now the NBA, obviously every game, one team gets blown out, the next team get blown out, then a blowout, then it's close. And then they had, do you have something you want to say? Or you just gonna comment about how many videos I have? Because that sounds kind of stalkerish. I don't really get addressed like that. I usually get addressed by people who got thoughts on the comments of what I'm posting about. And if they want to watch the videos, they're sitting there. So that's all it really needs to be commented on. If you want to comment about the videos, or if you want to comment about what I'm saying, and if you're taking part. If not, then it sounds kind of trolly. Makes no difference how much I got out. It's just that that's that. That's all. And I'm a creative minded person. I don't keep task on stuff. I just create. And one of these days, people will watch. And things happen in ways that it takes time with stuff. But I don't. I content creator, not about you know, something about what I do. Anyway, sometimes I don't even think that's enough of what I've created. Maybe even more. Doesn't matter. And the ironic thing, I don't even create videos like that as much as I used to. That's the thing. It's just that I do a lot. But again, it's a different amounts. So that's how I would describe it for anybody who asks. But no one really pays no attention. People don't pay attention until like something hits, and then when it hits, and it's like, oh, that was sitting there all along. Yeah, that was there all along. Let me create this thing because that is where people really take attention to what you do after time, not during the time, but after time. It's funny. And then a lot of times some people come back with what the videos were and they go, oh yeah, you talked about that back when. Cover a lot of bases. It's a lot of topics, a lot of discussion. Oh, you're gonna go leave and watch some videos of what videos you're gonna watch? If you don't mind me asking. And I'm just curious what videos you're gonna watch. I appreciate who's ever took this poll so far. I am coming to you live. So anyway, tonight is Game 7, Oklahoma, San Antonio. Be curious to who people got. The reason why I think things is fixed is because it looks like one way, and then it looks like another, and then it looks like one way, then it looks like another. It's like it's hard to say anything. I mean, it really, you know. So it's logical to wonder if the thing is fixed or not. It's logical to wonder if the thing is rigged. You look at so much of basketball and it looks just like with anything with the entertainment industry on the whole. So well, anyway, put this thing on for now. All right. Had to step out for a moment. And I am back. So you got more people coming through. It's just a matter of people coming on here and talking. That's all. But I understand it is weekend. It's a good day. It's the last official week of May. Had to go hit the door. Last official week of May. How has your May been? And we're getting ready to get into June. How is your summer going? Let me get back live. You got any summer plans? You looking forward to summer? Summer starts officially in 2.5 weeks, Father's Day, etc. Do you have anything planned? Are you gonna do anything? See anybody do anything? It's crazy. I hear the economics, the unknown stuff that's out here. Don't know. Don't know nothing. So anyway, just checking to see what's going on. Man, the Michael movie is still tearing up everything, still dominating. I will get into that just a moment. One of the things that there's gonna be a big moonwalk protest um June the 3rd next Wednesday about the whole Netflix thing, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. It's a racist agenda, and there's a lot of agendas and a lot of people trying to downplay. That's what they're doing. So, it's a shame that someone's been gone almost 20 years and it's still the same old tactics and antics. It really is a travesty. Can't even rest in peace. But anyway, that's just how it goes. So, but anyway, that's where we are. That's where we are. What's happening? Okay, so tell me why you think the NBA is rigged. Holla. I want to know what you make it think. Now, I saw what Adam Silver with the whole draft thing. They didn't already. I mean, when Cooper Flag went to Dallas last year and they traded off Luka Doncic to the Lakers, can you be more obvious than that? Can we say more obvious? What's happening? How you doing? What's up? Well, thank you. Good to see you too, especially on a Saturday, because I said I'm gonna be here for an hour and a half. I'm going grocery shopping in an hour and a half, and I thought I'd come on through, kick it with the crew, and let's talk. And if you got time today and tomorrow, I'm on here live, so let's get it. Y'all timing is perfect too, because I just had to go outside, check something, and I'm back. So timing is perfect. You know, his mid 80s stuff was okay. It's the 70s for me. It's the 60s with the writing with David Porter, and it's the 70s with his music. And the thing about it is, yep, let's do it. What's happening? Good to see it. The thing about it is that Luca is also tradable. He's giving me James Harden flashes, but that ironic. Oh, you want to check her out? She was a precursor to Sexy Red and Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj, except she wasn't as vulgar. But she was. She actually had talent though. Was no one picked for me? I don't know. That'll be. Cooper Flag could be interesting. Well, the way they got blew out in Game 5, and then I expect maybe OKC wins in the last second against, and they win the pull enough to win. It's two flawed teams. Thank you so much. Good to see you. They're very flawed teams, and some people are looking at SGA in question mark. Some people are looking at, you know, the Spurs. The Lakers actually had a good blueprint of how to defend him. It's just that he does have those games he go off. I'm gonna tell you right now. If Chad Holmgren plays worth a half, then SG will look like the fool. Let me explain. If Chad Holmgren plays worth the half, SG will look like the fool. In English, that means that if he holds his end up, then what's happening? Then it's game over because he has to come up big. Him and Heinstein have to dominate. Alex Caruso. There's simple ways for OKC to win. For the Spurs to win, Wanyama has to be pushing 30 and 10. You know. No, they've done that for years. I see. I this is why I have to shut this down. This ain't got nothing to do with OKC. This goes back further than that. Dick Bavada said, if you go back to the 80s, 90s, first of all, if you go back, if you were old enough to remember when Pat Riley, Phil Jackson were coach, right? And they might lose 2 games on the other court. Then they would talk to the media about the refs. Look at that. This is nothing new. Yeah, but he's just benefiting from what all the other superstars did. Again, every superstar that's worth their sands gets calls. So he's not the first. He's not the first. The only thing that makes him unique is that he plays in a market where he's getting calls. If he played in Philly, Chicago, New York, LA, Miami, Houston, somewhere big that has won, nobody would say a thing. The only reason why it's a big deal is because he's playing in um, Green Acres. Like he's in Andy Griffinville. That's all. And I'm saying this because Magic got calls, Bird got calls, Jordan got calls, Shaq, of course, had to get calls. He didn't get enough. Kobe got curved. Good, good, good album, and it was really good. And it's part of his trilogy from Dirty Mind, Controversy, 1999, because he was building and building up. And the only problem with Controversy is there's a half of it that's off the chain, and there's the other half of it is kind of mid. SGA is a better team leader. He's more composed. He's engaged, and he's already won a chip, and he's done it with less. Oh, give SGA Dwight Howard in his prime. Oh, give SGA Russell Westbrook. Oh, give SGA Chris Paul. Oh, give SGA Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. Do you need me to keep going? Because if you look at James Harden, he's played with some of the most important players of the last 30 years. Eh, look at it. Give SGA Donovan Mitchell. So that alone is the difference. I mean, he didn't had a sidekick. You can make the case he's had better sidekicks than LeBron James and Durant and Steph Curry while you at it. If you want to get technical. If you really want to get technical. Because Dwight Howard and him went to a Western Conference Finals. Him and Chris Paul went to Western Conference Finals. So he's had situations. He just went to an Eastern Conference Finals. Look it up. That's the difference. SGA knows how to finish. Harden doesn't. Harden doesn't even play to what he. If you look at James Harden, I can make the case he could be the most important player today for the Euro step and all he did, and he underachieved. Blues Brothers just Oh, well, they got that from the whole Memphis crew. So you Steve Cropper and all those cats that play behind Otis Redding and Stax Records, you want to look into that. It was very important. A lot of them flop. A lot of them flop. That's nothing new. Adam Silver's NBA is about flopping. You think they do that because who do you think greenlights that? Before you pick on the player of the team, who do you think does that? What do you think the league tolerates? Who do you think runs the league? It's not by accident. I want some people to use common sense. SGA versus Kobe. Kobe wins because he had more versatility. But I will say this: SGA got a nice back step, and he's underrated with the spring in him. But Kobe gives him overall. But SGA won't back down though. Yeah, but James Harden made the Euro step more fashionable. Yeah, he more versatile. He's more versatile than Rip. Rip just had that 12-foot shot, which is important, but the SGA covers a lot of range. The reason why I say Kobe is because Kobe can go with different hands. What's up? How you doing? Good to see you. No, I like SGA a whole lot, and I'm not dissing him. And I'm one of the people that's gonna say this. He doing what Adam Silver wants. You act like he ain't. He's just doing something. See, this is the thing about what when people forget about black people. I ain't gonna say he was smoking, cause SGA ain't no pushover. SGA's been doubted. He's been the most doubted guard I probably have ever seen, if I'm honest. He been doubted by a lot of people, and I don't know why. Because he didn't made himself into a top tier player. I don't know how more fight driven you can be, you know. So he's no he ain't like some guy who just let them scratch ticket. No, I don't think so. I think he plays the game the right way. He don't have to be showy. He stays cool. What's wrong with that? Tim Duncan is one of the five or six greatest players ever. There's nothing wrong with that. I am glad to see Charlene and bless her soul and thank you for coming on. And like I said, I'm gonna be on again tomorrow. So this is a back to back. We back to back. But no, you don't have to be loud to do your thing. You don't have to be. You know. He does what he's supposed to do. He's a winner. You know, he two-time league MVP and he's a champion and he's done. So I don't know what people want from the guy. I mean, you know, he plays in OKC. They even if he was showy, they're not going to get no love because he's in OKC. If he does this in Philadelphia, Chicago, Miami, New York, or Houston, they slurping him. That's a tough question because there's other songs that would come to mind. I would say Papa Don't Take No Mess with James Brown might have that distinction. Two different type of power couples because they had different impact. But I'm gonna say more people gonna say Oz and Ruby. You know, more people know Valerie and Nick. My favorite era of MJ is between Off the Wall and Thriller era, but the bad era is his peak and his prime though. I don't think they're gonna burn it down. Depends on how it's played. I think it depends on how it's played. You know, I'll say this: if SGA wins and runs the table, he makes people have that tough discussion about where they rank him. Jalen Brunson wins it all. It's gonna be a real interesting discussion about where people ranking him. But when Yamba wins it all, the future of him being with the greatest of the greats is coming. So you got three interesting storylines. Three interesting storylines. Yeah, my favorite years of MJ are somewhere between. My favorites are somewhere between Off the Wall through Dangerous era, and I'd say that Off the Wall through the Bad era is where it's romanticized. And I think where he was like magical and felt like he was floating was Off the Wall through Thriller. So you know, it depends on how you're looking at it. He's a very unique situation. I think the Knicks will be fine. I think they'll be fine. I won't be surprised if they, run the table. Oh no. It's not that good of a album for me. I get into it with other diehard Michael Jackson fans. I thought, aside from the slow cuts, and I did "You Rock My World," that's about maybe 4 or 5 cuts. But then there's like a lot of junk on that record that he didn't care at that stage. He didn't. He was getting through his record deal, and there's a quality. There's quality there. I don't think there's no proper send off album. I don't. I just look at it as somebody who he went through the motions. He had dominated. It really wasn't nothing for him to do. When I say this, and I'm not making light, I'm just keeping it 100. When you dominated like that man dominated, and you had the impact he had, you can't go no higher. Yeah, the Billy Joel era, 52nd Street. I think everything with him in the mid to late '70s was my favorite. No, Michael had done music all his career. But if you don't know his history, the cat was very prolific. He just didn't put a lot of stuff out. And when he was with Motown, it was crazy. I thought it was mid. I thought it was mid. Prince recorded a lot, but Prince actually stopped after the mid 2000s. But he had always recorded a lot of stuff. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite Jackson's albums. As far as Jackson 5, I like Never Can Say Goodbye. They are different eras of their music because they went under different names. Yeah. There are gonna be people who like the Invincible work, and I like his vocals on the slow cuts. I just didn't really care for the up tempo stuff. I thought it was just generic because Rodney Dark Jerkins didn't do much for me. So I'm not the biggest, Rodney Jerkins fan, but I did like You Rock My World. But that other stuff sounded like Timberland rejects, and I just didn't feel it. I'm gonna start because it's really out of Stephanie Mills and Patrice Rushen. So I'm gonna start. Ooh, that's a good one. Cause who would I start out those two? Cause Stephanie's a better vocalist and Patricia's more of behind the scene and she does a little bit of everything. I'm gonna go Stephanie first, and then Patricia off the bench, and then Regina Bell gets cut. And I do like Regina Bell. Chad to me, how you doing, Timmy? Chad to me is the X factor. I keep saying this, and I think I'm the only one who says this on these basketball forums or sports things. No, I'm gonna get back to you about Regina Bell. I like her voice in a broke double Junior Whopper Stephanie or Whitney Houston way. But she had no real person. She could sing, but she never. Stephanie got better catalog, and Patrice Rusher got better catalog. Chad got to get his Klay Thompson on. He got to at least be the second man. If he gets going, he's even if he gets his stuff padded into the fifth row, he got to let Wemby know I ain't afraid of you. He got to come up. No, you don't know about Patrice Rushen, yo. Because Forget Me Nots alone towers over everything Regina Bell did. Forget Me Nots alone. You remind me. Songs have been sampled and looped. She was backing a lot of people. I don't think you know how bad that woman is. That's one of the baddest, coldest all arounds. She bad. He can't cancel him out, but Heinstein has to, like I said before, he is. Chad got to act like Klay Thompson and get some going. If they do that, yeah. If they can get him and Heinstein pushing Alex Caruso, watch out. Ego. Because in hindsight, that was ego. You know. First of all, I ain't got no problem with the symbol thing because that's how he always was, with things. That's cool. And I ain't got no problem with him speaking about the racism in the industry. But that whole formerly known as made him a laughing stock because then what people say, well, yeah, you're formerly known as a good artist. You were formerly, and he did. He made himself into a joke. He was right about the industry being racist and how they treat it like a plantation and all that. But the way he went about certain things. Okay, let me ask you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The barge easily. And I know Babyface because Babyface will be the first to tell you Elder Barge was the reason why he got his music going. I like Boys to Men, but Boys to Men's music doesn't hit. The Barge still gets sampled to this day. Pull out All This Love and I Like It. And how many last time you heard I'll Make Love to You and on Bended Knee and Into the Road compared to the Barge? It's not even close. Patrice did a lot of stuff. Yeah, he was, he wanted to I think he did want to bury what he had created in part. And I understand it from artistic and also from the business and all that. It's just about how he went about it. I'm not gonna say the most dominant Nick ever, but I'll say this. He's top 3 or 4 greatest Nick ever. I'm taking Stephanie Mills. Mary's had a great career. I know the Queen of Hip Hop Soul and all that. She can't touch Stephanie Mills. She'll be the first to tell you. Stephanie got a better catalog. Stephanie's a better singer. First of all, you go see Stephanie Mills perform right now. She ain't gonna be snoring in no lazy boy on stage. She ain't gonna be pouting and bounce. She gonna be performing. There's no comparison. They were big, but they had no identity. That's the problem. Who's iconic in music? Oh, I think Boys to Men's name, but I mean, I'm just saying they you know, yeah, she did all that. She was bad. Oh, Brunson's bad. If he pulls that off, oh yeah. Um, I'm gonna start Al Green, and I'm gonna have to bench Isaac Hayes. I'm about to cut Mayfield, and I love Mayfield. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Isaac Hayes with David Porter wrote all them great songs on Stax. Isaac Hayes soundtrack, Shaft predated Mayfield. Isaac Hayes did duets, incredible. I was a Jodeci fan. Oh, Jodeci was bad, but Jodeci was their own worst enemy. Too much ego gone wrong. If Bronson wins, yes. If he wins. If he wins. If he wins, yeah. Because then you got to put him in there if he wins. If he don't, he still be top 5 when it's all said and done. Because, and it's a strange. The Knicks are the strangest franchise ever because as big as New York is the Mecca and all that love they get, you could take somebody right now and put them in their top 3, 4, 5, and nobody can argue because the Knicks don't really have that sort of thing. We're not cutting. No, I love the soundtrack. I loved it. But Shaft, did you listen to his arrangements? Did you not hear what that man did with his tone? Just like Eli Manning with the Giants, Eli ain't the half of Brunson. How much? Um, if it's OKC, I'd say about 40%, and if it's San Antonio, I'd say about 70. Because I just think that they match up better against the Spurs. When Yamba aside, it's gonna be hard to keep up with what the Knicks can do. Because he was soulful as all get out. And Miles Davis once made a remark about Al Green and Marvin Gaye. He said if they each had a breast, you just drink the milk. Al Green was. You need to watch the Soul Train. Watch the live Soul Train version of Al Green, and then get back to me. Even Natalie Cole said Al Green was the goat. She said I don't know why. I'll tell you why. Because 40% with OKC tells me this. Shea has to play great. They have to get the guard spot. Chad Holmgren and Heinstein. Heinstein is X Factor. He used to play for the Knicks. They have to dominate the paint. If they don't dominate the paint, then that's a 40%. That's a little bit less than half. 70% against the Spurs is because when Yamba aside, a Castle and those guys turn the ball over a lot. Cat is eating and feasting on turnovers. Mike Brown got them boys feasting on your turnovers. Be sloppy against the Knicks, you could get your butt waxed. And I've seen them look. Oh, Lou Ross from Mellow voice. From Mellow. But Al Green was a better artist, though. No, you talk to somebody to tell you about Al Green. No. What are you talking about? What are you skipping Barry Bonds for? Why are you skipping Barry Bonds? You acting like Barry Bonds didn't play the last 40 years. Yeah. You just dissing Barry Bonds, and I love Willie Mays, but you just dissing Barry Bonds. The most impactful since Bonds, the last dominant. I'm not one of those people that. Let me tell you something about this live stream. I don't do the ignore. Like how people talk about R&B and they don't want to talk about R. Kelly. I'm gonna say it loud because you bought the record, you was there. So stop acting like people didn't exist. It's like you watching Harvey Weinstein movies. You still watching Goodwill Hunting. Stop acting. Most impactful player since Barry Bonds. Because you're telling me that nobody after Willie Mays was impactful. And that's a lie. That's cap. That is cap. And impact can mean different things, can affect it differently. This is tough, but you got to start James Brown. Duh. You got to start. I'm going to bench Rick James and I got to cut Prince. And I dig all three and I'm going to tell you why. Because Rick James could perform. He was bad and he did a whole lot. Prince was bad, perform, but it could be mid and depends on what it was. If it's stuck to his best, he belongs. But Brown is the dude though. Did you see Bonds with the first 40-40 man, 40 stolen bases, 40 home runs? Second, did you not see that he was a Golden Glove winner in the outfield? Did you not see that he took all those walks? That he was a batting champion? That is dominance. And there's a Bobby Womack, left hand artist, Bobby Womack. And this is the other thing for Bonds. Only player I ever seen with the bases loaded in the ninth inning, the manager walked him with the bases loaded. Didn't want to pitch to him. Buck Showalter. So you can't even tell me that. You can hear okay. That's what I'm saying. See, and I don't do this ignore crap. I don't know if people act like they gonna cancel, man. Please. The industry's still making money off of him. You come here on these streams, they still making money off of him. And when the next Michael movie comes out and you're not alone, you can call him one. You can call him one. I mean, he was dominant. You know, think about it. What other R&B artist during the hip hop era was producing songs, working with the likes from Gaga to Celine Dion to Michael Jackson to Charlie Wilson, the Isley Brothers, the Lee, all that. Acuna ain't no Barry Bonds. Acuna is not an Albert Pujols' catalog, okay? Category. Come on now. Come on now. And Shohei done some. No. No, he's a con man. He basically Diddy with playing some beats. First of all, I listened to that Michael Thriller 30 album, and all he had to do was run a sample and a loop behind Billie Jean, and that mess was garbage. He is just like a lot of them. Quincy Jones went off. Quincy Jones was senile when he asked him about Kanye because he said, look, don't compare a cat like that to guys who actually had orchestrations and bands. You can't compare it. I'm sorry. Sampling and looping has its place, but it ain't like conducting a Count Basie orchestra when you got Frank Sinatra singing and you on the pit. It's not the same. There's nobody in hip hop that's seeing no Quincy Jones or seeing no Tom Bell or no Nile Rodgers or anybody knows how that was considered a great producer or arranger. It's not the same. It's not the same. That's why this Michael Jackson movie's tearing everybody's behind up and leave them in the dust because it's real. And when you see real and you've been deprived of real, you're telling people like I'm tired of this fakery. Because the closest you got today is Bruno Mars, and even that. 15-minute video, what? Doing his business? There's some mess like that. I like Akuno. I'm not saying cats, but when you start talking about what Barry Bonds did, Shohei Ohtani's doing, Albert Pujols, when you talking about greats, Willie Mays, you talking about, Hank Aaron, Clemente, you talking about greats. When I talk about greats, I'm not talking about guys who are really good for this era. I'm talking about all time. That's where Ohtani's knocking on, you know. So there's a big difference. I heard something about Kanye, but I don't waste my time with that turkey. You know. So does Kobe Bryant. What's your point? He has a career with Pittsburgh and he has a career with the Giants. They both exceptional. And he was never convicted of nothing. He never was suspended for nothing. It's just that he has racist people against him. And I know he wasn't likable, but that has nothing not to do with him not being a Hall of Famer. He's supposed to be a Hall of Famer. There has got nothing to do with him not being in the Hall of Fame. Nothing at all. He is supposed to be a Hall of Famer. The man could flat out hit. He had hand-eye ball coordination. I've seen this guy tell you the pitch, the location, the trajectory. He is a student of the game. His godfather was Willie Mays. His cousin was Reggie Smith, who used to be a good player for the Dodgers. His daddy is Bobby Bonds. That was his daddy. Ooh, I think Reggie Jackson's a cousin or something. What? Not DNA would not pass through that. Well, only thing I was defending Bonds on is that you can't act when you say a time to Willie Mays, you cannot ignore Barry Bonds. That's all I was saying. No, he could hit. He could hit. And he had awareness. That is some coordination. He had awareness because he was must see TV. I'm gonna start Babyface because of his track record. Gonna have to bench Freddie Jackson. I gotta cut Jermaine, and I'm gonna tell you why. Jermaine is more talented than all them cats, but Jermaine just didn't push the apply. Jermaine was bad, but he just didn't apply. Freddie had a great career. Jermaine had a chance to have a great career, like a hybrid between both of them. Because if you think about it, a hybrid between both of them. Adrian Boner. Well, how should I feel about Boner? What did he do? Because the last time I saw him, it didn't like it was hitting on much. Well, how should I feel about him since you brought him up out the blue? And I didn't even know you kept up with anybody in sports. Because you told me you don't really keep up with sports like that. Babyface kind of by default. And I like Face. Yeah, that's kind of caught me off guard. I don't think he had the work ethic. I think his talent was there. Uh, Work ethic. And the dude was talented. I mean, if you're a kid playing bass and singing live on stage, you bad. His son is Jafar. Do I need to say more? The man did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, talents, but just didn't really want it. That's the difference. Michael and Janet just wanted it more. And sometimes it comes down to you want it's like basketball. We talk about sports all the time. You see some guys, you like, look at Tracy McGrady, okay? Look at Paul George, okay? Look at James Harden. You got guys that got skills, but they just don't have that next in them. You know, when you got that next in you, you can go places. When you don't, you kind of like settle, and that's all I'm saying. And I like Jermaine a lot. I mean, Jermaine got songs. Jermaine was talented, but oh yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, okay. That's what I remember. Okay. Oh yeah, he gonna try his. He's trying to shoot a shot. It didn't work out. Yeah, I saw that miss. I forgot about that. He just didn't want it. He just didn't push him. Oh, it's crazy. Um, that's a good question. I never thought about that one. Who was carried more? I would you'd probably say Bradshaw because of the talent level. Because Bradshaw didn't even think he was the best quarterback on the team, and he wasn't because Joe Gilliam was. Black quarterback, Tennessee State. But they didn't put a lot of black quarterbacks, and Joe Gilliam got on some other stuff, which unfortunately we the people don't get to tell you the whole truth of how great he was. Aikman came up, and Aikman earned his stripes. He took it. Bradshaw did too, but Bradshaw had more to go with him. It's a case of older brother jealousy, envy, but yet he beats you up if you tried to come after Michael. It's a little bit of all that. Sometimes there's some strange dichotomies at work. Because some of the same person who'll dog you the coldest is the same person that will love you the hardest. And Jermaine was bitter. But he didn't really pursue his career like his brother, so I don't know what he'd be bitter about. You got to step your game up. Talented, like I said before. Jermaine ain't no joke. Did session works for the band Switch. Helped out with Whitney Houston. Brought Stephanie Mills to Barge and switched to Motown with Talent Scout. Well, it doesn't. Look, I listen to Stranger Moscow more, but Whitney had a bigger hit. So there you go. I think Stranger's a better song, but I think Whitney had the more important cut. So there you go. Stranger Moscow is a tight cut. And he had that sitting in the can for a couple of years. He did that with Brad Buxter, his keyboardist. It's a haunting piece. Probably one of the most honest songs he did, and I say that because you know, Last Best was dangerous. Chubby Cox, I don't know Chubby Cox. I know Chubby Checker and I know Bobby Cox. Stranger Moscow, I always loved it, but I'm gonna tell you a story about Stranger Moscow. I always thought it was a great song. I tend to appreciate it more when it rained in the autumn. It was something about listening to it then, even back then. But I loved his vocals. What I loved about Stranger Moscow because it didn't sound bombastic, but production, it didn't sound over the top. It just sounded like he was just chilling. History was average and mid. And I'm gonna tell you why. Too many cooks in the kitchen. That was the first time that just because he's Michael Jackson and just because y'all can work together doesn't mean everything works. I thought there was too many hands, and it showed that without the discipline of having the right balance of production. Love Earth song. You're not adding. Okay, one of those songs I love on History. I will break it. They don't care about us. Earth song. You're not alone. Childhood. Let's see what else did I like. I said I love Earth song. They don't care about us. You're not alone. Okay, so this time around, let me break it down about that. I didn't think the beat went hard enough. I think Dallas Austin kind of didn't put enough in it. It was lacking. Like, let me give you an example. That beat in Can't Let Her Get Away, what he did with Teddy Riley for Dangerous, that's the kind of beat Dallas Austin needed for this time around, and it didn't cook like it's supposed to. Chubby was Kobe. Oh, okay. No, I'd have to watch something on him. I have to watch some of him. Yeah, I like Nothing Compares to You, 2300 Day, and Maria was a pretty good song. They had a couple of decent New Jack Swing songs on it were cool. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. It was the end though, and what I mean by the end, it was obviously that, you know, it wasn't a bad record. It was alright. It sounded like the time and the era. Because Nothing That Compares to You was a decent cut. The one that Alan Bay faced this one. Do I think? Yeah, it affected him. It affected. Well, people are not. Listen, people are judgmental, and they're quick to say, it altered him from performing in the states, and it also, as like I said, the second time he had no home. He died without a home. That's the most saddest thing I can say. 2300 Jackson Street. Well, they would want to put people in there almost, but the problem that they would do with that is that it would make them look as they look horrible, which they are. There shouldn't be homelessness. They should take care of their people. You can't call yourself the richest country where you don't take care of your people. That's embarrassing. Nighttime Lover, which her brother wrote for her. Bet You Gonna Need My Lovin', which was a funky song off her 84 album. Uh Stay the Night, which was a Billy Ocean remake. Those are my three favorite Latoya songs. But she can't sing to save her life. She'd be perfect today. But I like those songs. Stay the Night, Nighttime Lover, and Bet You Gonna Need My Lovin'. She had some hits over in France. She actually won some awards for songwriting. I'll give you a story. This back in '86, and my grandmother. I was living in Virginia. Uh, oh, come on now, you being trolling. She was all excited about it. I said, Latoya, that didn't count. No one took Latoya serious. We like Latoya, but it wasn't for her music talent. Ashanti. Ashanti was a better writer. Ashanti had a hand in that whole thing with Murder Inc. Come on now. but their vocals aren't that far apart. It's just that Latoya just couldn't catch you, didn't. But I don't listen. If you're in a debate with Latoya Jackson for better artist, if you don't win, you suck. You need to go wash some dishes and some underwear, like 2 minutes ago. That's not kind of the debate you want to be. You know, you funny for that one. That's one of the funniest ones I've ever seen. She got a light voice, but she wrote and she understood hooks, and she also sung on "I'm Real," the one that J Lo stole it from her. No, it's cute because if Ashanti had some skills, she'd have had a longer career. She was a hood girl who had pop crossover success, but they didn't put enough money on her after a while. God, this is disastrous. Brittany, J Lo sucks. Destructive start bench. Oh God. Oh well, y'all are funny. I'm gonna go in that order. Sierra's got a better voice, barely. Latoya's entertaining. So this is the thing. Was that Jennifer Lopez and was it Corey Rooney? I heard that videotape where she was doing a demo video and he was on the piano and she said, "Find my key," and I cracked up. Or I didn't see that. Okay, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna start with Sherelle. I'm gonna bench Mickey Howard. I'm gonna cut Regina Bell. A jelly bean. Yeah, but she's basically been irrelevant for like 20 years. They still trying to put her in big movies. Nobody care. They still trying to put whack albums. Nobody buy or stream. And she just needs to go and do OnlyFans. I think if she just do OnlyFans, she'll be crazy successful. Nobody cares about neither one of them. Sierra is known as Mrs. Russell Wilson. That's the best hit she's had in years, okay? And you can tell her I said so. And Jennifer Lopez is living off of stuff that she's still trying to recapture the J-Lo era. And one half of that team is locked up right now. And what am I going to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Because they can sing and dance, but they hurt my ears. What am I supposed to do with that? They hurt my ears. I'm glad they can sing and dance. I just wish they could actually sing. I wish they could dance. I wish they could sing. I wish they had some better material. I wish that they didn't inundate me with them trying to, Jennifer Lopez actually had some okay, decent songs. Where's career fall off? You got to say Hammer, but I like Hammer better than I do Russell. But you got to say Hammer. Stop it. I'm starting George Benson because he did it all, and I'm benching George Duke, and I got to cut Stanley Clark, who I do like, but Benson done R&B, pop, jazz, and he's a singer. And then there's George Duke after that. That's an interesting list that you asked me. They don't hit though. They don't hit. Believe me, if it hit, Sierra wouldn't have had to go run to Russell Wilson to save her behind. We couldn't Stanley Clark because does he have the same impact as George Duke and George Benson? I don't think so. And he played with both. He played with George Duke, but he even cut projects with him. But is he a vocalist like George Benson? Does he have George Benson's catalog track record? He's a bad bassist, but George Benson right now, as I talk, is still touring. George Duke produced a who's who of people. If you say so. I don't think Sierra's exactly bomb blowing up though. Face Off. Cause it felt like more matrixy like yeah, she was. It felt more futuristic. I haven't watched that in a long neither one of them in a long time. Yeah, I gotta say Face Off. I did like Face Off too. That seemed futuristic at the time. If you watched that movie when it came out, you thought, wow, that is the future. Passion of 57, I think that's when Wesley fell off, but uh, I gotta say underrated because he really had a big run, and he had he was one of the few guys that kind of was giving Denzel acknowledgement, and he was also with Blade. He would be like Michael B. Jordan's uncle, cousin, older relative. When you think about the action pack, because he also was Morgan against Samuel Jackson too, so he was dabbling leading man in action, just didn't do comedy. So I'd say under. It was just to be real show busy. I don't read a lot of negative into it because it was a it was for show. It was like, we do this. Um I didn't think there was nothing bad intentions about it. They met up back ironically when Michael played in '88 in Minneapolis. They kicked it at Paisley Park. So Prince didn't find fault with it. He wasn't gonna play second fiddle to nobody. I heard allegedly there's a track where Prince did with Rick James, but that's sitting in the vault. But I don't think that's ever gonna come out. But no, but I think it was the sheerness of the situation. Because of ego. It is ego, but it's also probably the quality of the song. I don't know what Michael was gonna offer him. And again, it's a lot of factors involved. Because Prince wanted to have control and Michael wanted control. So it's like, what's a happy medium? And Prince did offer Wouldn't You Love to Love Me? Yeah, that was back in the day. I heard about that long ago. And type he cut in '86. And they were acting kind of funny with him, so he just kind of didn't pull it out. Michael sat on a lot of stuff. He did a cut with Roger Troutman too, because there's pictures of them together in '85. I'm starting. I'm gonna start Tupac. I'm benching LL and I'm cutting DMX. And I like DMX, but it's just the balance that those guys got him beat in different capacities. You thought that one was gonna be hard, and I do like DMX, but he doesn't have the catalog or the impact. I don't. He. I don't. I be watching Drink Champs, and they always trying to say that Tupac and DMX is a draw, and I'm like, no, they not, because the impact alone, Pac's got longer impact. Impact alone, Pac hit hard in different ways. Now DMX hit hard as a writer artist, and I think he had a chance to, you know, to really be a threat. Yeah, he died a couple years ago. He was around for a long time, but LL got them both beat though. LL catalog impact, you know. Yeah, Donahue passed a couple years ago. There's nothing I can say. This is the so let me explain about L Cool J. Versatility. Versatility. Plus, he had the battle rap against Kumo D. Plus, he didn't have guest appearances on his records. He came up in the era in hip hop where you could be buried. He almost was buried after his third record, you know, and he came back. That's all you need. That's all you need. If you're good at what you do, that's all you need. That's if you're good at what you do. That's what they do now. That's why you think Drake is so big. But actually, they all rap for the women because most of these cats, uh, they have to have appeal. Okay. If I had to pick out a Rakim and LL, I'm taking Rakim as far as rapping goes. If you ask me for career, it's LL. But if you ask me strictly on the skills, it's Rakim. If we're, it's two different things. Skills, Rakim ain't to be messed with. But the catalog, LL got in beat. And LL can do a little bit of Rakim. Rakim was still learning how to kind of like finagle like that. And he didn't really go that way. You watch more. You ain't getting no love for no Jay-Z here. I don't mess with no Camel. And he's overrated, overstated. 28 Grammy Awards? Really? That's what we gonna do? Cause you realize all them awards they gave him? Geraldo Moore, but I quote Maury Moore. I'll tell you what I mean by that. So if I know somebody that they could be the baby daddy, I say you're not the baby daddy. You're the baby. You know, I'll make more. Geraldo was one of those cats that tried to appeal to too many people, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Is who really overrated? Who's really overrated? Who are you asking about? Who's just overrated? Yeah, he's overrated. Yep. See, cause I didn't found myself doing Maury, and so I forgot who it was, but somebody I know they was talking about the daddy. I said, well, you don't need Maury. Yeah, Jay Z's problem is that and it took Foxy Brown on the hook to blow him up. Every he's written coattails. He's got to have marks on his back for all the coattails he didn't read. And that's not to say that people don't ride. It's just that his riding is so blatant that it's like, what has he ever done? So he's notorious for taking people's stuff. And most of them do, but it's just the way that his thing is that he act like he don't be knowing folks. And that's why he get called out. And that's one of the reasons why he got the backlash he got. And it ain't even the best thing even came yet. Yeah, he was. And he worked with everybody too. He didn't work with everybody too, so let's see. Because Memphis Bleak don't make no money for him. That's why. Jay Z looking for people to make the bag. He ain't got no time for no turkey and making no bag for him. Well, it's Outkast and EPMD are my one and twos. And okay, gotta UGK gotta be third, and then I gotta say I like Mob Deep, all right. Can play with School and Gangstar. They're all about the same. Luck Charm. Sorry, Charlene, but all that Jay Z love, you don't get no love here. The Camel get no love here. I ain't the only one. I ain't the only one. And I saw the reels of him with the Roots last night in Philly. I'm yeah, mine is gonna be well EPMD again predates you. They was doing the whole Roger and Zap thing before a lot of cats were. Yeah, top 40. Yeah, he is. Yeah. All I ever get out of Jesus, it's your boy Ho. We gonna get into the cold. I'm gonna be and then I'm like, come on, man. And this is what they gave almost 30 Grammys to? Give me a break. Eric Sermon was bad, dude. You know, he did that music with Marvin Gaye a few years, 20 years ago. Just like music. And he sampled enough to make a beat, so mm-hmm. Yep. Start binge cut. I'm gonna start Biggie. I'm gonna have to cut Kendrick and Sarah Nine Jay-Z. Oh, he does have real snake tendencies. The last one taken out all the way through. I don't know. I'm stomped on that one. Way back. Was it Abraham Lincoln? It was something like that. Because R. Kelly, because Diddy, the snake tendencies. The audacity and arrogance of him, and he was behind that documentary about R. Kelly because he didn't dream Hampton. Yeah. Did he even sit in? Yeah. Well, Little Wayne, he paid Little Wayne's tax bill one year, so I don't know what kind of dynamic they have. Uh, I'm not gonna go into. I'm just gonna say this: like for what he does, um, Jay Z gets way too much attention, and you know, What's it say right here? He says he like Aaliyah more. I think I just like the blueprint. I think the problem I had with him is that it feels contrived. And I think I wouldn't have a problem if he, but remember, he used everybody. He used Linkin Parkers. He used R. Kelly. He used Kanye. He is, I'm gonna take a Lee on that one. None of them. They all feel like escort services. None of them. Cause I'm like, where did MC Light go? What happened to even Latifah? What happened to Anina Cherry situation? Yeah. So that's how I look at it. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I'll take a Lee on that. I don't see no female rapper that I like today. Sorry. None of them. Typing causes too much errors. Well, take your time. Okay. Retire from rapping. Okay. Yeah, MC Light ran circles around anything that's out today. And, again, it's changed so drastically. Yeah. See what we got. Yeah, I was huge on MC Light. I was huge on Light. How do you get them made? Do tell. Because I would definitely get one. And I put everybody on there. I think you put your stuff on there. Somebody puts the stuff on there and they can sell, I would do it. She stunk it up the other night. They got beat the last night. Atlanta beat them. See what we got right here. I'm not tripping on no Caitlin Clark. Takes time. Takes time. Gotta have the right songs, the right vibe. Can't be a novelty. Takes time. She gotta start racking up awards and maybe it takes time. So I was laughing. Well, again, I don't spend a lot of time watching Caitlin Clark because I think that this love affair, whatever it was because they wanted a black one, white one, and they ran with it. But She just has got a target on her, and you know. Am I a Harley Quinn? No. Nope. 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 You say Harley Davidson, I'd be more inclined to want to ride a bike than no. Oh, come on now. You know better than that. That's not even up for discussion. I think I give Shantae's divorce. Tina got a wax and everything else. It's not even close. But I do like Shantae's voice, but she can't find no one to do the right thing with it. Right, right. You know. Uh, okay, so we got no. Hathaway or Smokey? Hathaway. And I love Smokey, but Hathaway. Yeah. And I love Shantae more, but Shantae ain't got the catalog. I like her cadence, but Tina got her beat though. She's got a beat. She's got a beat. Well, yeah, things do happen. I'm glad you're back. She got her beat. Shanti can sing too, but Shanti ain't got the cuts and she ain't got the she. Tina got a beat. That must have been on a latter record. Because that wasn't on her Motown records, and I don't remember that being on her Sony. I'm taking Tina Marie. Give me names. And gotta come up with some better competition, too. Give me a name that, Brandy. Because I like Monica's tone, but Monica's stuff got kind of. At least Brandy worked with Babyface, Dark Chest. She had some stuff, you know. She a bit overrated, all that vocal Bibleness, but as far as like she had better songs than Monica. Monica never grew up. They pigeonholed her. You know, Brandy had a little more going on. Space Jam. She just, songs and stuff. So we ain't blowing nobody out no water. I like the Leo K, you know, but I ain't no. She was mid vocalist. She happened to have the right songs that connected her, but mm-mm. I don't notice something. I'm gonna tell you something. Let me tell you a story. Well, rest in peace to my grandmother on my mother's side. My grandmother always had some interesting quotes. One of her quotes was, "If you ain't got nothing nice to say, then you don't say nothing. So watch the screen go black." Now, legendary with what? I will say this about Aaliyah. Had she lived, just like Tupac, would have been a better actress and acting. Yes, she was a mid artistry. She happened to have the right songs, the right time. R. Kelly, if they keep it like a Jim and Lewis meets Janet Jackson thing, she could have been really dynamic. But no, I think Beyonce is like James Harden to me. She's like Vince Carter to me. Paul George. The kind of people that got it all the makings to be the next, but they don't have that little thing called sealing the deal. And not sealing the deal is why I dropped the mic with her. She could seal the deal because, I don't care what kind of base she don't have no fan base here. You gonna get crickets here. And I think she has some good intentions about her, but her material just doesn't do nothing for me. It doesn't do anything for me. It just seems to be, it's just very mid to me. You know, she can perform, yes. She has charisma, yes. But the songs and the presentation and no. Oh, you give somebody like Lionel Richie or the Elder Barge, or even R. Kelly, if he was just writing songs and you Smokey Robinson, or you get like a Brenda Russell, you know. Let Beyonce sing one of them Get Here songs by Alita Adams and then come back to me. Let her do a Killing Me Softly to Donna Summers in a blowout and twice on Sunday. And Sunday is tomorrow. Not even close. Not even close. Because she did everything Beyonce tries to do, except she didn't have to act like she was putting on her mama's house shoes. She really put them shoes on and made them hers. It's not even up for discussion. We still talking about Donna Summer's. I feel the I feel the love from '77 with her and Georgia Moroder. We talking about stuff from 50 years ago. Come on now. I welcome them to come at me if they want to. But see, I speak facts. I don't speak fiction. There's a difference. I'm bringing facts. This ain't no fairy tale land here. They mad because they want the same thing she wants, respect. Well, stop doing discount food music. Stop doing fast food music, trying to mask it up as adult music. You are a tier below you. Yep. And this is the thing, I'm gonna address this real quick. Beyonce's got more talent in her pinky than Madonna, the talent, but it's called wanting it more and having the right material. I'm gonna sit here and lie. But and it's not because I grew up watching it either, but it's fair game. She had better songs. She had better songs. You know, Beyonce doesn't have that kind of material. And she did. First of all, the fact that she's the most Grammy wins of anybody, and do people care about that? Do people are you gonna get people to sit here and tell you right now that Beyonce is better than Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Stevie Wonder? You want me to keep going? Well, it wasn't just that; it was also her complexion too. She was non-threatening. She had all the things that imagery plays a part. I mean, but it ain't really sustained. Hasn't really sustained. I don't hear people going gush a goo. Hasn't sustained. Well, look who she married. And she liked them Ike Turner type, so she. And also because when you got whack material, that's what you do. You start become striptease. You go OnlyFans, but you need some distraction because what you putting out ain't putting out much. Yeah. No, not even close. He got better as time over his peak in his prime. You can just play Purple Rain or Kiss right now. People know who it is. That's 40 years ago. See what I did with that? 40 years ago. Yeah, but of those Destiny Child songs, do you know? Do you think any of them are touching the Supremes? Do you think any of them are like standards? See, there's levels to this. Well, all you gotta do is look at the Michael movie. 40, 50-year-old songs is tearing everything up today. All the hype Beyonce gets, all this. She tried to formula it. She came out with Crazy in Love, which was a big song. Well, remember that Austin Powers garbage went glad bag. Nobody bought that garbage. So they made her regroup. Yeah, the first sound was cool. That's some good stuff. You know. But the thing is that again, I don't have to say nothing. The proof is in the pudding. Shoot. You got people who are buying stuff because of artistry. I ain't seen nobody run down the street to oh yeah, Beyonce's got these 3 great albums in a row. If Beyonce had a movie come out tomorrow, do you think it's gonna make the half of a Michael movie? A quarter of a Michael movie? Come on now. And she been out now what? Got a 25-year solo career? She's gonna be Rock and Roll Hall of Fame bound in another year. And she tried all these different types of records and all this hype. That's the point, what they're doing. Or is it about 3 or 4 years? I don't know. Well, Mariah's always had tomboyish arrested development. That's not exactly, you know, that's no one cares. No one cares. Unless you just really sprung on. I never hear anybody go, ooh, Mariah. No. But she did that after she came back when we belonged together. She did after she'd already hit, though. But she still ain't revealed nothing. No one looks at Mariah like that. 10,000. Well, that was a Hollywood setup relationship, if ever was one. And if you notice who she been involved with, high profile, industry, and easy access to her too. It's not like she's some great. It's not like a great catch now. Anderson Paak's running around. I mean, it's like benefits. Come on now. It's not even no class to it. And her and Nick was like a bad PR. There was an era where you just go low budget. Jermaine Dupri, Janet, Jay Z, Beyonce. When it wasn't about love and looks, it was some power lunch that went awry. It's Jennifer. Oh, Julie Roberts, Loud Love It. I mean, I'm just saying they did this, and Nick has been confused ever since. He can't make up his mind. He's still talking about her. He walked down the street. Oh, it would be. Shoot, come on now. Shh. It's Michael Jackson we talking about. Beyonce ain't gonna never experience the half of. Michael was right about what he said about Madonna. Men don't faint like they do. Like men artists get more love, but it's not even up for discussion. Hurting because she ain't making no standards. She's not doing what she should be doing. She should be more evolved. And she's still out here trying to make broke club music, which and what club they gonna go to? And it ain't hitting. And she tried to work with Anderson Paak. I saw that mess on Tonight Show trying to do sloppy third, sloppy fourth Silk Sonic songs, and hopefully that'll make her sound soulful when she just sounds like she just slipping over her own extensions. I mean, no one's paying for that no more. She just said sit home, and every time All I Want for Christmas comes on, just give her a catch your check. She's not gonna do anything no more because the market ain't the same. Depends. Billie Jean was one of them. PYT. Rock with you. Don't start you getting up. Get on the floor. Remember the time. Can't let her get away. The way you make me feel. There's a lot of them. And with his brothers, shake your body onto the ground. Can you feel it? It's a lot of different ones. Depends on what you ask with the Jackson Five too. She is the problem because she isn't. She still thinks that they sat there and let her husband get on TV like an idiot and beg for more Grammys. Get album of the year. I mean, come on now, how pathetic is that? That's not a grand revelation. That's not a shock. Donna Ross fronted the most important girls group ever in the Supremes. Destiny Child will never know what that's like, and better songs. You play them Holland Dozier Holland songs. You don't sit around playing those Destiny Child songs the same. Donna Summers had a career that Beyonce had dreams of having. Being called the queen of something, but also dominating in an era when it was more competitive too. Shh. Donna Summer was so bad that she got Barbara Streisand's behind out and came out the burbs to do Enough is Enough and tried to out sing her. Donna Summer shook people up. So it's not up for discussion. So what time we got? Okay. I got 25 more minutes because I'll be 2 hours. I'm doing this again tomorrow. Like, yeah. Well, yeah, because there was no depth to it. They weren't all top tier, but the quality in terms of like the 60s was more the singles artists, but then you found your identity. The 70s was the first year of like the album artists. The 80s with the videos and the visuals and the concepts. The 90s was like a throwback of a compartments of all of that. But the difference is that you had certain artists that stood out who were still writing, who were still creating. There's the difference, you know. And you had artists who were aspiring for something. And I ain't heard too many people that I would sit down and say, "Oh, they're aspiring for greatness." Because people have been dumb enough. You saw he packed LA. Oh, you got to understand something. Let me tell you this. You can disrespect black artistry because hip hop came along and has marginalized, when I talk about R&B producers, artistries, they do. They have. They don't do that to their white counterparts. You ain't gonna never hear Harry Styles come on TV and say, "You know what? I'm as good as Paul McCartney." Nope. What's happening? How you living? Good timing. Good to see you. Better catch me. I'm here for no 25 minutes. You better come on in here. Got something to say? Come on in here and holler. No, but see, they disrespect our within all the time. I'm just using them as an example because you see the disrespect that what we get. Drake doing all that stuff about icing out Michael Jackson, all this stuff. Yep, I know what it is tonight. Everybody knows what's up tonight. Do or die. I'll say this: if San Antonio wins, it prematurely starts their run for the next 5 years. I think the home team's gonna get it. I just think it's gonna. I just think that it's unless there's a couple factors. The better opponent is the Spurs because I think once you Bunyamba, you can Ireland him. But if Anobi OG plays like he's playing and Josh, if they get the 5 deep, Spurs can't beat them. They turn the ball over too much. The OKC is compelling because obviously what's at stake. You have SGA, you have Jalen Brunson. That would be worthy of watching. You know, you know. Obviously, the heavyweight fight out in the West is the real title. Who are we kidding? OKC and that is a title tonight. That's a heck of a battle. No, that rookie's balling. Japanese cat is balling. They got a nice little squad. The American League is pretty soft drops though overall though. Mariners are 500 in a sorry but division. So I mean, it's some sad situations. The Yankees are running. I don't get excited right now, but there's a few interesting stories. The keys for the Spurs to win. Yep, they're my team, but I don't say nothing till we get to September, October. I don't do all this talking now. Been seen this story before and before and before. Unless they putting it up for a banner, I am not saying nothing. I ain't trying to get excited now. This ain't the time to get excited. This ain't the time. Don't mean nothing. It don't even count for as I'm concerned. Yeah, but the Dodgers are better right now. Shohei's starting to get cooking too. He another home run last night. That's who I be watching. I keep up with what they doing because they get it right. They got the best manager, best player in the game. Simple as that. And that's the standards. I'm a Yankee fan. I respect the Dodgers, the Jackie Robinson situation. I've always respected the Dodgers, but they are the standards. They are the standards. I don't get excited about this time of year because it's still too early. Oh yeah, I'm sure the powers that be gonna make it a close game, just like And this is a rival that they hope they can draw upon until Ant Edwards gets moved to a legit team or a legit situation. No. Mm-mm. But he can make a move. I'm gonna tell you something. He goes somewhere in a major market. Oh, they won't. They'll make a point. But the Spurs, if they do tonight, I expect a 4 or 5 year straight window. I think OKC would have to regroup if they don't beat them tonight. Because I think that when Yamba is coming, and if this is any indication how he done a flip in a year's time, oh yeah, it's gonna be hard to get past them the next 4 or 5 years. You might see some incredible dream team hookups to mash up to offset what's about to go down. And this is the Spurs being vulnerable as all get out. Well, you may as well go start watching the Food Channel because them turkeys are coming back. Randall's gonna be on the books, and Gobert is Gobert. You traded half a town for him, so you got to keep him. I just think the Knicks, it's gonna be one or the other. Well, that's a good move for Boston. That's a good move for Boston. That would be a good move. They gotta find a way to play some defense because they choke too many games. They don't. And the sad thing is, if you're a Celtic fan, you don't even try hard and you still win 55, 60 games. So imagine if you put some effort in the postseason. They can't. They still are relying on their three ball too much, and they just play stupid. So yeah, he might could be. That might be a good move. I think they could use a big. They could use a big. The Timberwolves need a low post presence and they need a point guard. That's what's tearing their behind up. That's their two Achilles, a center and a point guard. You get those two things because they're right there, but they get and Chris Finch needs to consider. They need to consider new coach too. I be telling people, but nobody would want it. They love cheesecake in the 25 days. They love it, but nobody would want it. He's inconsistent also get out. He's hard headed and he's set in his ways. When he's balling, he feels like doing something. He looks like a top 15, 20 player. But when he does the stunts that he's known for doing, you want to put him on the eighth slot in the bench, and you only run seven. That's how erratic he can be. 56% saying that they think the read in all forms is pretty good. I'm glad the poll is burning up. Keep on hitting that like and hitting that poll if you were on. Thank you. No, it made sense at the time because they would fit each other's characters. Cat was considered soft and a Twinkie in Minnesota. That's why Jimmy Butler and Tibbs were clowning him because they thought he was soft like a cupcake. And Cat just needed to go somewhere where he could be the second or third option and be dangerous, which he is. He just so happened when Jalen Brunson and him clicked, because he's a high perimeter oriented player. He gets to live out his fantasies that Anthony Davis is crying right now. AD got a ring and has got all this, but he would love to trade with a former with Cat. Cat has his career right now. That's exactly what AD would love to be. Get to stand on top of the key, then get your assists, get your boards, do a little bit here, and you don't have to take the blame. And you can defend. You can kind of do to your heart's content. That's Cat's got AD's career right now. So I understand the move. It made sense for both teams at the time. Because for a minute, with the way Ant Man was playing, it looked like a move. So, I gotta start Jody Watley. I gotta bench Pebbles, and I gotta cut Shantae because they had bigger careers. That's all it come down to. I gotta take the body of work. Pebbles had a really good career, and he throw a managing TLC and all that. And Jody Watley had Shantae Moore just doesn't have. But if you're asking me on talent, she got them both beat singing, but she don't have. Again, I take in consideration body of work and impact and all that. So Jody got that, but Pebbles is a close second. Shantae ain't got what she ain't got that. She's a better talent though. I love her voice. And sometimes I have to explain that just because I cut somebody, it doesn't mean that I don't like them. Like I like Regina Bell. Regina Bell is a better vocalist than most of the stuff that's out here now, female singers. She just didn't have that distinctive material, and she was riding that wave of a double junior whopper broke Whitney Houston, which ain't no shame. But when we start talking about, and that's the thing, Shantae Moore runs circles around most. But Shantae Moore can't, she didn't work with a who's who too. Her and Aretha are battling it out for me. Her and Aretha are like 1 and 1A. Depends on my mood. Aretha got the better catalog, and Whitney's voice can hang. So take your pick. But she was dynamic though. And she one of the few artists, male or female, to get on stage with Luther Vandross and can riff with him. So that should kind of tell you something. Because if you know about Luther Vandross and riffing, you wanna see Luther Vandross blow somebody out of the water? Watch Luther and Boy George doing What Comes to the Broken Hearted. That was embarrassing. He cooked him. Whitney. I like Sade's songs, but Whitney. Come on now. Because you can go from uh Saving All My Best cover song to I'll Always Love You. Better songs. Timeless. And Sade is like a niche artist. What she does is great. Cocktail Lounge is great. But she can't cover the bases like Whitney do. It's not even the same ballpark. That's not even fair. Not to mention Whitney's just a better singer. We can make a case. I did like It's Not Alright, It's Okay. I like that one. But her prime was 85 to about 94. Peak prime. The best stuff. And I did like The Preacher's Wife. I like her voice on the gospel songs. I like that. I Believe in Love. I Believe in You is one of them cuts I like. That was from 98. She did that one with Dark Child. It's not right. It's okay. All I was saying is that yeah, but her best stuff, yeah, it's hard to argue against her. I love Whitney. It was all right, but it was the songs that she made. She made the stuff. I wasn't crazy about Queen of the Night. That was corny. That whole Michael Janet and Vogue thing, but just for I Always Love You Alone. I mean, come on now. You take a song and you do a 40-second acapella. Come on now. It's not even up for discussion. That artistry alone. Come on now. Kevin Costner, his hair went back and his hair couldn't even move. Soulful, but no long, no, not like one of those acts that came good, really good, had a moment, and then it kind of just poofed. I like some of her stuff, but don't love the career like that. It was good for a moment. For a moment. She had the right song at the right time, and for the moment. Had she been handled the right way, she could have had like a female version of George Michael's career, and it just came and went. She was big because when you think about overcoming a scandal, you do music, film, TV, stage. She's pretty much controlled her narrative. I think she's done quite well. Now, if you're asking me musically, well, she tried different things. It was mixed because she basically became like a, I don't know, one of them kind of like how Marilyn McCoo and Dionne Warwick would do like Solid Gold. Like you sing a little bit here and there, and but if you want, but no, she had a successful film career. She's had a successful TV show. Ugly Betty, Soul Food, that whole thing, the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, a music career. What else would you want? She's done stage too. I mean, she's doing the Prada thing, I think, on stage. So what else would you want? Ella, come on now. Come on. Ella. I listen to more Anita Baker, but Ella. Ella, 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 Ella. Ella, 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 Ella. Come on now. Better pitch quality. What's that record? What was it? Cole Porter stuff? My grandma had old. It's not even close. You start Miles Davis. You start Miles. And you're going to bench Coltrane. You're going to cut Herbie. And I love Herbie. But come on now. Miles changed the course of music 5 or 6 times. Coltrane went from starting off. Coltrane was kind of like Wanyamba. And the potential, or like Shaq, and then exploded. Come on now. Changed the course on the sax. I love Herbie. But uh, I'll give it to Nancy Wilson. But I do like Bassie's voice a lot. But I will give Nancy a slight edge. That one is close. That's a lot closer than Ella Fitzgerald and Anita Baker. Even though I listen to Anita more. But Ella blows the socks off her. The tone ain't it alone. I do listen to Anita Baker, And I don't want to bite it to misconstrue because Herbie Hancock is bad, but Miles did everything. Oh, I love Minnie Riperton. Minnie Riperton is one of my 10 favorite female vocalists ever. And if Mariah Carey kept her tone pitch right, that would be, that would be somebody that's who Shantae Moore. Minnie was soulful, versatile, wrote her stuff. If you ever get a chance, if you know anything about Rotary Connection, that was the band she was before her solo career. And she worked with Charles Stephanie, who later worked with Earth, Wind and Fire. Great production. Betty Wright. Because tonight's the night alone. She wrote songs. She had a career. She was soulful. She was directful. Mary got some songs I like, but Betty Wright, you could still play Tonight's the Night. That song's still sampled like crazy, and it's been used for a lot of hit songs. And she had that gut bucket vibe. She did everything Mary J did later. If you ever listen to She's Got Papers on Me with her and Richard Dimplesfield, she did all that vocals. Bad. Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Yeah, Betty Wright. Let's see what I got. Okay, I got about 6 more minutes for my bounce because I got to bounce. I got to do some grocery shopping. Gladys Knight for me. I love Gladys Knight. Midnight Train to Georgia alone. Come on now. She's one of my favorites. She's top 5 for me, first female vocalist ever. I can listen to Gladys Knight. Gladys had that it. Still got it. She put me in a soulful mood. That's back when if you could sing with soul, on and on. And don't get me started on say the overtime for me with Leon Silvers. Come on now. Funky too. Heard it through the grapevine. The church version. Come on now. She beat you in different eras. She don't get the hat. Little Richard called her the queen. You know. So she's one of the baddest. So Earth, Wind and Fire. And I love Frankie Beverly and Earth, Wind and Fire. Earth, Wind and Fire is my all-time favorite band. The other band that I hold like Earth, Wind and Fire would be the Isley Brothers, and then Sly and the Family Stone is the most important band. And I love Frankie Beverly and Maze. It might be in my bottom end of my 10 to 12, but Earth, Wind is not even close. And Questlove's documentary is coming on HBO real soon if you would be interested. It's June 7th due on HBO. But I follow Earth, Wind and Fire forever. Love their music, love their vibe, the talent, etc. And there's a show called Truth and Rhythm, Funk and Stuff. You type it in, they just had a panel discussion of Earth and Fire's. Everyone got to pick 5 Earth and Fire songs, top 20. So uh, check it out. Truth and Rhythm. Shout out to Scott. Yeah, that's your opinion. I listen. I think that if all things are created equal, Beyonce was gonna have to jack stuff off of her. But I'll say this: she started off with better tracks than Beyonce. Cause Back and Forth slays a lot of Beyonce stuff. I'm sorry, it do. And Beyonce had to been watching it. That's only a small segment. What about Lauren Hill, who was doing R&B, hip hop, and pop? What about that? That one, that's the one you don't talk about. She had the game on lock. That's the one you don't talk about. Aaliyah was doing films, and Aaliyah kind of faded. You don't talk about Lauren Hill. Lauren Hill made them change the game up. Lauren Hill was supposedly was this. She was that was the one, not Aaliyah. If Aaliyah had a like faded after like 95, 96, okay, she is. But she had the kind of career you'd want. She had the respect of that album. She was rapping. She was R&B pop. She was, you know, think about it. And she wasn't kissing no ring. Think about it. She was singing and hitting the way Beyonce would want to hit, and she was rapping and flowing like Jay-Z would want to rap. And she had Wycliffe on the side. Come on now. I did like doo-wop that thing. She's not garbage, but the garbage is the fact that she lied about the credits that she actually did. I know what he's saying. She lied. They made her sound like she was like female Stevie Wonder or something. Like she's writing all the songs, all the stuff. And come to find out, she was just jacking people for credit. Because when she did that unplugged album wasn't like that Miseducation Lauren Hill. That mess was scary. She twisted a lot of things because a guy named John Stevens was producing and playing on the album. You know him better as John Legend. Oh yeah. Robert Glasper, if you ever listen to Robert Glasper, who keyboard player and stuff like that, he just clowned her hard. He just went in on her hard. No, but it was that the Fuji sampled all that stuff. What I was saying was she had that back to back hierarchy with both of that. And she left the groups thing and then she went solo. So you think that she be running things because she went from hip hop and she R&B pop. She had all that going for her. And she was in movies, she did TV, she was modeling, she had it all. You know. So yep, Robert Glass was what I was talking about. Glasper ain't underrated. People know him. He plays for a lot of people. Terrence Martin gets a lot of love on the West Coast, and Washington did the sax. He had Kenny Loggins and Mike McDonald, and he's done stuff. It's just that with him, he ain't Grover Washington. He ain't got no distinctive song. His playing is good, and I like Robert Glasper. Glasper and Chris Brown had that little eye tay to tay. Terrence Martin gets love. It's just that they don't have star power. They're not underrated. They don't have that it. And I don't want to hear nobody saying if you're the instrumentalist, you can't. Yes, you can. You heard of Grover Washington Jr.? He became forebearer. You heard of a guy named George Duke? He became forebearer. You know, you can do it. You just have to put the work in. You have to have the work and the material. So, cats are talented, but they got to figure out the next level. I don't think that. I think that you can accomplish if you put your mind to it. I do. So, next thing he'll be playing forks, spoons, and knives, silverware album. Turkey be tripping. Ain't nobody buying that mess. He comes off like he bougie and pretentious, and people are just laughing, and ain't nobody buying that mess. Next he'd be lucky he got his money because if he wasn't, he'd be playing doing the dishes in somebody's drive-through window. That's what he'd be doing. He be really busting suds. And ain't not for no 30 minutes of busting suds and bubbles. You be Lawrence Welkin it. I've heard the name. There's talent out here. But let me be first to tell you this. There is talent out here. A lot of people play. But what makes them distinctive is what they put forth. And you got some bad people who will never set forth on a stage. Uh, he's not even a fit to even be said in the same sentence as Jimi Hendrix. It's an insult to even put him in the same universe. That's almost like Chris Brown and Michael Jackson. That's just as bad. Come on now. He wants to be seen. That's what they want to make him out to be. But he ain't. Hendrix had more talent in his bandana than Andre's got in his whole being. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. He got a star it about him and charisma, but he just flushed it down because he didn't have the drive and he didn't have the it. There's a lot of cats like that. But if you don't ever get it right, you allow yourself to get broke down. Well, because that's all he's got is posing. There's a lot of them that just pose. Shh. Ain't nobody buying that garbage. He got mad at some critic who dissed him. He got all crying. I said, look, man, go make some work on your skills, work on your craft, work on your voice. You come out with what, 80, 90,000 songs and only about 3 of them are kind of okay? Maxwell in a blowout. You know, Maxwell ain't really moved me in years, but come on now. That's not even for discussion. Because Maxwell's a better vocalist, but Maxwell is choppy as all get out. He's choppy. Should have been way bigger and better. Should have been. Let me see what time it is because I got to go and just. Okay, hold up.